Matt, worst possible news for the Warriors. Klay Thompson has suffered a full tear of his right Achilles. He will miss the entire season. He missed last season with an ACL.
The Golden State Warriors are still title contenders. Although the injury to Klay Thompson does set this team back, I believe this team is still slept on. Now, if you take a look at the Warriors starting five on paper, you have Stephen Curry, Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman. That's pretty solid. They also made a splash in free agency, picking up some bench depth in Brad Wanamaker, bringing good playoff experience and scoring when you need it, and Kent Bazemore being a solid scorer off the bench. Then proceeded to possibly get the steal of the 2020 NBA draft in Nico Mannion, who was projected to be the 8th overall pick by Bleacher Report and Yahoo Sports before the college season started. And they managed to snag him with the 48th overall pick. And then, of course, adding James Wiseman with the 2nd overall pick from the 2020 NBA draft. Now when you begin to look at the revamped team this year, they look scary. Not to mention a bright spot from last year's team in Eric Pascal, who made all-rookie first team, putting up 14 points and 5 boards while being efficient, shooting 50% from the field last season. I think Pascal is going to put the Warriors over the hump in some games just because of that scoring spark off the bench and energy along with athleticism. But he does need to improve his defense as it ranks one of the worst on the roster. They also have another secret weapon in Michael Mulder, who has proved that he can be a great three-point shooter and help this team space the floor. Now, with all that being said, I once again still do believe that the Warriors are contenders. Let me tell you why. This year, I expect big things out of Andrew Wiggins. I expect to see 2016 Andrew Wiggins, where he put up 24 points while having good efficiency and shooting 36% from 3. We saw this on full display last year, while Andrew Wiggins was putting up some of the best efficiency of his career while playing off career low minutes. We also saw him improve on the defensive end, seeing him average a block and a steal for the first time in his career. Andrew Wiggins has shown why you seriously need to believe in him this season. And adding to this, having the best point guard and greatest shooter of all time in Steph Curry is only going to help free him up. In Minnesota, Andrew Wiggins was pretty much asked to do all the work on the perimeter. Teams weren't really scared of any perimeter guys on that team other than him. The only great perimeter player he had in Minnesota was Jimmy Butler, and we all know he would end up leaving after the 2018 season after they would get bounced out in the first round of the NBA playoffs by the Houston Rockets. And now that he has a legit squad to play with, you can expect him to have a breakout season this year. Next, I think the Kelly Oubre signing was a little bit underrated. A lot of people forget that Kelly Oubre was a 20 points per game scorer last season, and I don't think that he's came close to reaching his peak. If you take a look at Oubre's career, you will see that he has improved every season that he's been in the NBA. And I don't think it's absurd at all to say Kelly Oubre will score more than 20 points per game this season. I could see him averaging around 22 points this season while improving his three-point shot, which you could already see he's been doing because he's been shooting it a lot better in the preseason. And if you haven't been keeping up with the preseason, let me tell you that the Warriors' big three of Curry, Wiggins, and Oubre has been looking good. Especially last night with the Warriors' big three combining for 70 points through 3 quarters in a winning effort versus the Kings. And they did this without their 2 defensive anchors in Draymond Green and James Wiseman. Which leads me into my next point. Do the Warriors have enough defense to make a run at the title? And my answer is yes. First of all, they have Draymond Green, a former Defensive Player of the Year, and like I said before, they just drafted James Wiseman, a nasty shot blocker. And James Wiseman isn't just going to give you defense, he's an insanely gifted scorer. He seriously is the best center prospect we've seen in a while, and he is my pick to win Rookie of the Year. I say this because I think that he's going to be able to step into an established playoff team and contribute more than some of the other rookies will be able to. I think we could see Wiseman score 16 to 18 points while putting up 11 to 13 rebounds if everything goes well. And then the final piece to it all, Stephen Curry. Don't ever underestimate Stephen Curry's greatness. As long as you have a prime, healthy Steph Curry on your team, you can achieve anything. We are talking about the 2-time MVP, 3 times finals champion, and first and only unanimous MVP, and the greatest shooter the game of basketball has ever seen. Now, if there's any questions about Stephen Curry this season, it's his health. One thing about the 5 straight finals run was that Curry luckily remained healthy, but that was not the case last season. If Curry can come back and be the player we know him for being the entire NBA season, there's no doubt in my mind this team can contend. And a lot of analysts say that Curry has a great shot at winning his 3rd MVP award this season, so let's hope that he can play a full injury-free season. Nobody expected the Denver Nuggets to come back from 3-1 down and ultimately knock off the number 2 seeded Clippers and take a trip to the Western Conference Finals. So who's to say this team can't make a serious run at a title this season? With Stephen Curry still playing at an MVP level, Kelly Oubre giving you 21 points a night, Wiggins averaging 18 to 21 points off good efficiency, Draymond playing like he did during the Warriors title runs while remaining one of the best defensive players in the league, and Wiseman giving you 15 to 19 points a game while being a great defensive player around the basket, you can't count this team out. With all this being said, where do you think the Golden State Warriors will end up this season?
Chopper and I think it love me. Probably cause I let that bitch do what it please. Call her hitters cause he gon' shoot free. Let me hush, that's between him and me. R.I.P. Easy E. Niggas act like bitches, man, these niggas act like bees.